Teaching speaking. The first point is about organizing principle and interactive approach. Speaking is oral communication in two ways, process between the speaker and the listener. It could be with a student and teacher or in groups with other students. The speaker has to encode the message he wishes to convey in appropriate language, and the listener has to decode or interpret the message. The interpretation of the message many times is going to be with the previous knowledge and with the own experience in real situations. Then we have the characteristic of spoken language. The first characteristic of spoken language, which influences the process of listening, in particular Richard's list of medium factors which underlie the complexity of listeners' task. If we remember the earlier chapter, this medium factor also was called mini skills, and it many times says that the characteristic that the listening needs to be with a student. And then we have the Browns and Jules examination of spoken language forms most frequently used. In this part we have very little subordination, few passives, not many explicit logical connectors. Or another example, the use of generalized vocabulary, thing, nice, selves, place, or a lot of. There are some examples of the examination of these two authors. Then we have, implication for the classroom. In this part, we have two important considerations for the teachers with heavy timetables, for example, the filters, which only punctuate and demarcate conversational exchange, but allow us precise time to process information which is being received in real time. In this part, we have students that can use these filters in a correct way, and with these students, when they speak in English, they're gonna sound more natural and native. And with the students that don't achieve use these filters, they're gonna have more problems with the fluency, with the pronunciation, and they are obviously in a conversation may not appear to be following the speaker. Many times they're gonna be lost in the conversation because they are gonna try to translate and try to understand what the other person is talking about. In this part, says that the teacher's use of English is gonna be a very important point, because we as a teacher need to adapt our language according to the level of our students. For example, if we have a student that has, I don't know, A2 according to the language, we need to speak, I don't know, slowly, and we need to pronunciate so clearly. And with students that have a higher level of language, we could use another strategies and adapt our language with them. Here we have another author is McGregor Gestalt strategy, which points that some children remain silent for long periods when they are learning their mother tongue. In this part, I think that this author also says that because when a person who is learning another language, at the beginning they have long periods of silence because they are trying to remember all the vocabulary that they learn in class, and also some topics, and in many times they need to try to relate all this information that they are receiving with situation in their real life, in situation with experience, with previous knowledge, and things like that. So in this part is I can compare in this way. Then we have interaction between the teacher and the learning. It can have seminal effect on the learning process. And then we have Sinclair and Coulthard show this type of classroom interaction has been found to manifest distinct and fairly predictable characteristics. And the other topic is grouping. We have in here some characteristics of grouping. The first one is it encourages the practice opportunity. It improves quality of student talk. It helps to individualize instructions, and it promotes positive affective climate, and it motivates students to learn. When we as a teacher use this strategy of grouping, we give them the opportunity to feel more comfortable with their partners. Because if we are face to face with a student and we try to speak and evaluate in this way their speaking skill, maybe they'll feel scared, shy, because they feel that they are gonna say something wrong, that they are not pronouncing some words in a correct way. And I think that when they are with their classmates, they feel in a safe place because they try to give a background with their partners. For example, they are talking about a specific topic, and probably a student pronounce a word bad, so other classmate can tell them or tell her or tell him, oh, you are pronouncing this word in a wrong way. It's pronounced in this way and not in this other. So I think is in this part we have a big opportunity, but our work when we use this kind of strategy is monitoring all the groups that they form, that they are working in groups, that they are having a correct background, and obviously we need to be sure that they are developing this skill. Then we have I can say in this other part we have a list that says that grouping is a big opportunity to develop these skills. For example, initiating a discussion, asking for a clarification, interrupting, and joking. In this part, it's not just give to our learners a specific topic and that they need to talk about it. In this part, speaking skill also is, for example, I'm as a teacher, I'm giving a explanation. My student have a doubt. He or she are gonna to raise his hand, and he's going to ask uh, about for a clarification, or he's going to interrupt my explanation because he or she need to say something, and it is also part of develop a speaking skill. In this part, when we grouping, we also work with learning autonomy. In this part, students are given a measure of responsibility to take charge of their own language. In this part, they are going to be more free because they are going to discuss by themselves. So in this part, our work is only monitoring and prove that they are working. It is all, I think so. Well, in here we have lesson plan. In this part is gonna be about gossip. In this part, first in groups, there are no 3 or 4 persons per group. They are going to discuss about what they think about gossip TV programs, and they need to have a solid argument. In here, I'm gonna give them around 10 minutes. Then I'm going to ask them about their opinion. They have to work in groups and create a solid argument about what they think. Then teacher is going to ask them after 10 minutes what they conclude, and in the same group they are going to create a TV show of gossip about famous people. They need to create sections and name the program with an original name. In this part, they're going to, I don't know, maybe they're going to choose their favorite famous. I don't know, a singer, actor, actress, wherever they want. And they are going to investigate or create a gossip. And then finally, they are going to pass in front of the class in groups and present their TV shows. And this is all.